Dan Scavino. Old Don Trump's right-hand man, Dan Scavino. Let's start explaining to the American people the millions of viruses involved in America's vast sewage scandal. Start at the Sanford Federal Courthouse in Raleigh, North Carolina, where sewage flows like honey into Walnut Creek. It's been doing it for 50 years, Dan Scavino. Now, North Carolina has a massive sewage problem, and so does in New York, and so does in Pennsylvania, and Illinois, and Indiana, and Ohio, and Florida, and South Carolina, and California, and Louisiana. You getting the picture, Dan Scavino? Now, to President Donald Trump, you know, the whole country was shut down over one virus, COVID-19. Remember all those virus updates you had from the White House? Now, you know, Dan Scavino and Donald Trump, the sewage that is being spewed and dumped and spread all over North Carolina and New York and California and New Orleans and, you know, Birmingham and Tampa and Miami and just all over the country, all up and down the Hudson River and St. Lawrence and the Great Lakes and the Ohio River, and you get the picture, Dan Scavino and Don Trump. Let's explain to the American people about how sewage has over a million, Donald Trump, viruses in it. A million. Now, we shut the whole stupid country down for one. Sewage has millions. So, gee golly whiz, everybody, why is it that the Sanford Federal Courthouse in Raleigh, North Carolina has been allowed to spew all that sewage all over Wake County for the last 50 years? Now, somebody's got to answer to all this. Manhattan, same thing. 472 sewer pipes dump immense amounts of sewage right into New York Harbor. In other words, Don Trump, a lot of your buildings with Andy Cuomo's buildings are dumping raw sewage right into the death infection capital of America. Maybe it's got something to do with all the sewage, Donald Trump. Now, I don't know about Mr. de Blasio, but I certainly know about Mr. Cuomo in Albany. Albany dumps massive amounts of viruses-laden sewage right into the Hudson River. The viruses-laden sewage mess across America is absolutely unacceptable. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, one virus put 40 million people in the unemployment lines and shut down our country. What about the millions of viruses in sewage, Dan Scavino? Now, Joe Biden, let's get Joe Biden in this conversation, and let's get the Clintons and the Bushes and Obama. Why is it that America is swimming in sewage? Just like Wuhan, China, and Mexico City, and Toronto, Montreal, Chicago, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, Washington, D.C. dumps vast amounts of sewage into the Potomac and Chesapeake Bay. Like Baltimore and Richmond. Richmond, Virginia is horrible for it. So, Dan Scavino, why don't you get that boat parade, your Florida boat parade, and go make a big deal out of the fact that Tampa Bay is being completely swamped in virus-laden sewage. Why don't you do something worthwhile with those silly boats? Mafia Dan Scavino. Are you getting the message? Can you hear me yet, Dan Scavino? Now, to the American people, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to cut it short. Why in the flippin' you-know-what is America drowning in sewage overflows from over 750 American cities? 750 American cities are operating even worse than Raleigh, North Carolina, and Albany, and New York, and Boston, and Baltimore, and Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia. I go on all day long. From San Francisco to Tampa Bay, from Tampa Bay to Philadelphia and Baltimore, all up and down Washington, D.C. to Albany, and to Boston, and Montreal, and Toronto, and Detroit, and Chicago, all day long. America is swimming in millions of viruses, Dan Scavino. So you and Don Trump, get on the ball, because you know what? It's coming out, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Because America will not stand for millions of viruses being splashed all over the country. Folks, I'm leaving it right there. And as always, hasta la vista. God bless, and you betcha we're coming back.